Hey guys, this is mathematics entrance examination of 2022. I have categorized the exam according to the grade level. In part 1 you can get the question and the solutions of grade 9 portion. In part 2 you can get the solutions of the portions of grade 10. This is part 3. In this video I will show you the solutions of the portions of grade 11, so stay with me. So I'm using this booklet code 058. So the first question that we can get from the portions of grade 11 is the question number 1. Here, what is the locus of points in the plane? The locus of points in a plane in which the sum of the distances from two fixed points is constant. So this definition is directly belonging to the definition of ellipse, because we define an ellipse as the locus of all points in a plane in which the sum of the distances from two fixed points is constant. Whereas if you want to know the definition of hyperbola, hyperbola is the locus of points in a plane in which the difference of the distances from two fixed points is constant. When we see parabola, parabola is defined as the locus of points in a plane that have the same distance from a given point and a given line. And the last one, a circle, is normally defined as the locus of points which are equidistant from a fixed point. That fixed point is called the center. So the answer for the first one is ellipse. This definition directly belongs to the definition of ellipse. In a fair die, what is the probability of obtaining 3 or 5? As you all know, a die is an object, a cubic object having 6 faces. So each of the faces of a die is assumed to have numbers 1 up to 6. So here we are asked the probability of obtaining 3 or 5 when we roll a die. So definitely the probability of obtaining 3 out of 6 faces 1 over 6. Or the probability of getting the number 5 is also 1 over 6. So the sum of 1 over 6 and 1 over 6 is 2 over 6, which is 1 over 3. Therefore, the answer for this problem is A. Which of the following is true? Here, this problem is about the inverse trigonometric functions. So for this problem, we will put their domain and range. Arctangent function, meaning that inverse tan function. Okay, for inverse tangent function, I will give you the domain and range. Actually, here I will try to respond according to the statement. So if our function is tan inverse of a function, the domain, the range of a tan inverse function is between minus pi over 2 and pi over 2. This is the range. Okay, so A cannot be the answer. When we see the arcsine function, for arcsine function, the range of an arcsine function is a closed interval from minus pi over 2 up to pi over 2. This is the range, but here it is given as a real number, so B cannot be the true statement. So let's take for the C case, f of x is equals to arc cosine or cos inverse function. So definitely the domain of a cos inverse function is between minus 1 and 1. Therefore, C can be a true statement. So definitely the true statement is C. Let's see the D case. In D case, f of x is equals to arcsine or sine inverse of a function. The domain of the sine inverse of function and cos inverse of a function are the same, between minus 1 and 1. So D cannot be the answer. Therefore, the true statement for this question is C. Question number 11 is about relation and its inverse. Given a relation with two conditions, this relation is a relation satisfying these two conditions. So for this relation, which one of the following defines the inverse of R? So there are two different ways of writing the inverse. One way of writing the inverse of this relation is y comma x. Then you write the rest of the things as they are. Y greater than or equals to x squared plus 1 and y less than or equals to 5. The other way of writing the inverse is we keep the set of order pairs as it is, but we interchange the place of x and y for the conditions. So x greater than or equals to y squared plus 1 and y is changed into x less than or equals to 5. So this, either this one or this one should be in our choice. So the equivalent statement with this one is choice A. Therefore A will be the answer for this. The next is about the matrix. Here given two matrices A and B, then we are asked the difference between the two matrices. This is very simple, you can do it orally. So A minus B is take the difference of matrix A and B according to the order. A first, 2 0 5 3 1 4 0 6 minus 2. This is A, minus the matrix B is 1 3 0 6 5 2 9 7 0. So if you are asked the difference, you can take the difference between each corresponding element, subtract 1 from 2 according to the order of the position. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Subtract 3 from 0, then 3 minus 0 is minus 3. Subtract 0 from 5, the result is 5. So similarly on the second row, 3 minus 6 is minus 3. 1 minus 5 is minus 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. On the last row, 0 minus 7 is 0 minus 9 is minus 9. 6 minus 7 is minus 1. And minus 2 minus 0 is minus 2. So this is the difference between matrix A and B. So the answer for this matrix will be choice A. In order to find point P in space, one can start from the origin and move 5 units in the direction of negative x-axis. So if we move 5 units in the direction of negative axis, means negative 5, then 5 units in the direction of positive axis, positive 5 units, and finally 5 units in the direction of negative z-axis, negative 5. So this is exactly the position of the point that we can get. So the answer will be B. Which of the following point is inside the sphere with equation x squared plus y squared plus z squared is equals to 5? This is the equation of a sphere with center at the origin. Okay, say the center is O. So, and the center is at the origin, and the radius of this sphere is radical 5, because usually we write the equation of a sphere as x squared plus y squared plus z squared is equals to r squared. This is the equation of a sphere with center at the origin and radius r. Therefore, r squared is 5, means r is root 5. So we are going to determine which of this point is inside the sphere. First of all, the point is said to be inside the sphere if the distance from the center to that point is less than the radius. So now we are going to calculate distance from the center to any of these points. So call this point as A. So the distance from the center to the point A is square root of 1 minus 0 square is 1 square, plus minus 2 minus 0 the whole square is minus 2 square, plus 2 minus 0 the whole square is 2 square. So this is exactly 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 4, which is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. This number is definitely greater than radical 5. Radical 5 is 2 point something. So since the distance from the center to the point A is greater than the length of the radius, this point, the point A, is definitely outside the sphere. This will be outside the sphere. So let us again check for the point in B. Call this point is B. So calculate the distance from the center to the point B. So using distance formula between 2 points, 1 minus 0 is 1, square it. Again, 1 minus 0, square it. 1 minus 0 and square it. So this is square root of 3, which is definitely less than square root of 5. So this point is the distance from the center to this point is less than the radius, therefore this is inside. This is inside, therefore this is the required point. You can also check for C and D case. If you, for example, calculate the distance from the center to this point, say this point is D, or say it M. The distance from the center to M is square root of 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square. This is the square root of 30, which is greater than radical 5. You see, the distance from the center to this point is greater than the radius, therefore this is also outside this sphere. Similarly, you can calculate the distance between this point and the origin. Definitely this is outside, or you can check that the distance from the origin to this point is greater than 5, radical 5. Therefore the answer for this problem is B. Which one of the following gives the polar form of the complex number z is equals to 2 minus 2 radical 3i? This is the Cartesian form of a complex number. Usually z is equals to x plus yi is a complex number having the Cartesian form, whereas z is equals to r into cos theta plus I times sine theta is called the polar form of a complex number, but r in this case, usually r is calculated as x squared plus y squared, and theta is tan inverse of y over x. This is how we can do in converting the polar, Cartesian form into polar form. We need to know the relation between r, theta, x, and y. Okay, so let's see in this complex number, in the given complex number, the value of x is 2 and the value of y is minus 2 radical 3. Definitely this point is a fourth quadrant point, therefore we expect an angle greater than 270 degrees. So let us convert this into polar form. First, r is equals to square root of x squared plus y squared, which is square root of 2 squared plus minus 2 radical 3 squared. 2 squared is 4. 2 squared is 4. Minus 2 radical 3 squared is 12. This is radical 16, which is 4. Therefore, our value is 4. The other thing is we need to calculate theta. Theta is tan inverse of y over x. Y is minus 2 radical 3 and x is 2. This is tan inverse of minus radical 3. Tan is negative in the second and fourth quadrant, but this coordinate is a fourth quadrant coordinate. Therefore, theta is 5 pi over 3. Because tan inverse of root 3 is 60 degree, therefore tan inverse of minus root 3 should be 5 pi over 3, which is a fourth quadrant angle. Therefore, the polar form of the given complex number is r into cos theta 5 pi over 3 plus I times sine theta, which is 5 pi over 3. This is the polar representation of the given complex number. Therefore, from the given alternative, our answer will be A. If A and B are two vectors in space, then which one of the following is not correct? We have two vectors, A and B, in space. So which one of this statement is not correct about these two vectors? So let us check each of them. Vector A plus vector B is A is 4, 3, 2, and B is 1, 2, minus 3. So when we add these vectors in component form, we add 4 with 1. The result is 5. Add 3 with 2. Still the sum is 5. And 2 with minus 3. The result is minus 1. Therefore, A is a correct statement. Let's check for B. In B, we have A plus 2B. A is 4, 3, 2. And twice of vector B is multiplying each of the components of the vector B by 2. So we will get like this: 4, 3, 2 plus 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. So add 4 with 2, the result is 6. 3 with 4, it's 7. 2 with minus 6, it's minus 4. Therefore, still this is correct. Let's check for C. B minus A is, right, B first, 1, 2, minus 3. And then A is 4, 3, 2. Take the difference component wise. 1 minus 4 is minus 3. Then 2 minus 3 is minus 1. Minus 3 minus 2 is minus 5. Again, this is also a correct statement. Definitely, we expect D will be our answer. Again, let's check for D. A minus 2B is A is 4, 3, 2. And 2B means minus 2 times B is 1, 2, minus 3. This is 4, 3, 2. Plus multiply each component by minus 2, then it's minus 2 minus 4, then this becomes 6. Minus 2 times minus 3 is 6. Therefore, 4 with minus 2 is 2. 3 with minus 4 is minus 1. And 2 with 6 is 8. So D is false because this is not positive 1, it's negative 1. What is the product of the two complex number Z and W given here? So let us do the product. The product of Z and W is 2 minus 3i times 5 plus 2i, where this I is square root of minus 1, or I square is minus 1. So let us distribute the numbers. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 2i is 4i. Then minus 3i times 5 is minus 15i. Minus 3i times 2i is minus 3i times 2i is minus 6i squared. So collect like terms. So we will get 10 for I minus 15. I is minus 11i. Minus 6 times I squared is minus 1. Therefore, this becomes 10 minus 11i plus 6. So plus 6 with 10 is 16 minus 11i. This is the product of the two complex numbers. Therefore, our answer is C. Which of the following is the variance of the data given us? 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. We have this set of data and we are asked the variance. So we usually calculate first the mean to find the variance of a data. So the mean of this data is defined as the sum of all the elements in the data set over the total number of the data. So the sum of the data set is 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 over the total number of the data is 5. So this is 21 over 5, which is 4.2. Okay, divide 21 for 5, it's 4.2. Now we have the mean of the data. Then to calculate the variance, which is denoted by S squared, we use the formula, the sum of the squared value of the differences, the squared value of the difference between the elements in the data set with mean, and square it, then divide by the total number of data set. So this means 2 minus 4.2 the whole square plus 3 minus 4.2 the whole square plus 4 minus 4.2 the whole square plus 5 minus 4.2 the whole square. You can continue like this, plus 7 minus 4.2 the whole square, and you divide this result by 5. Unfortunately, I calculated this value first, then the result is 2.96. You can use your calculator to save your time. So the answer for this problem is B. Which of the following pairs of events are dependent? First of all, we need to know the definition of dependent and independent events. Two events are said to be dependent if the occurrence of one event affects the occurrence or non-occurrence of the other event. Otherwise, it is independent. So, based on this definition, we will try to see which of these events are dependent. So, let's see the A case. Tossing two coins simultaneously and obtaining head from one tail and head from one and tail from the other. This event is totally independent event because the occurrence of a head from one and tail from the other do not have an effect on the other. So this is independent event. This is independent event. Okay. Let's see the D case. The B case. Drawing two cards one after the other from well shuffled pack of cards without replacement. Suppose we have a pack of cards. So when we draw a certain card from a pack of cards without replacement, this event is purely dependent event. If it is with replacement, it will be independent, but if it is without replacement, it is dependent. Therefore, definitely we expect this will be the answer. Let's check for C and D. Drawing two balls successively from a box containing balls having the same size and shape with replacement. If it is with replacement, the event is independent. And the last one, any event obtaining from tossing a coin and rolling a die at the same time. These are purely independent events. So the answer for this problem is B. The distance from the point 3, 4 to the line L with this equation is how much? We are asked the distance between this point and the given line. So to answer this one, we do have a formula to calculate the distance between a certain line and a point. Suppose our point is with coordinate x0, y0, and our line is a line having the equation ax plus by plus c is equals to 0. So for this point, the distance from this point to the given line is given by the formula absolute value of ax0 plus by0 plus c over square root of a square plus b square. But here from this line we have a, b, and c. A is 3, b is 4, c is minus 5. x0 is also 3, y0 is 4. So substitute everything here. Absolute value of a times x0 plus b times y0 minus 5, c is already minus 5, over, this is absolute value, over the square root of 3 square plus 4 square. You have a here and b here, c here. So we get this result. 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, minus 5 over the square root of 9 plus 16. This result is 20 over 5, which is 4. Therefore, the distance from this point to the given line is 4 units. A chord in an ellipse which passes through the center and perpendicular to the major axis is called what? So there is a chord passing through the center which is perpendicular to the major axis. That chord is called minor axis. Minor axis is a chord passing through the center which is perpendicular to the major axis. So our answer will be B. Next we do have again another matrix problem. Here it's about the determinant. If A is a 3 by 3 matrix with determinant of this matrix, this unknown matrix is 5. So based on this information, what is the determinant of 2 times A transpose? So to calculate the determinant of 2 times A transpose, we need to know some of the property of the determinant. So we know that in principle the determinant of a matrix is exactly the same as the determinant of its transpose, as you can check, and this is one of the property of the determinant. The other property is the determinant of k times a square matrix A is equals to k the power of n times determinant of a matrix A, where n is the dimension of the matrix A. So in this case n is 3. Therefore determinant of 2 times A transpose is exactly the same as 2 the power of 3 times determinant of the transpose of a matrix. But this is 8 to the power of 3 is 8, but determinant of A transpose and the determinant of A are the same. Here determinant of A is 5, therefore the result is 8 times 5, which is 40. Therefore the determinant of 2 times A transpose is 40. Which of the following is the augmented matrix associated with the system of equations. This system of equation is given. So for this system of equation, we are asked the augmented matrix. Usually the augmented matrix is a matrix, a coefficient matrix. The coefficients are on the first row is 2, 1, 3. A coefficient matrix together with the constant matrix 2, 1, 3. Okay, the constant will be 4 here. Here the coefficient of x is 1. The coefficient of y is 0, no more y on the second row. And the coefficient of z is -1. And the constant is 1. On the third row, the coefficient of x is -4. The coefficient of y is 1. And no more z here, therefore the coefficient of z is 0. But you can take this to the right side, therefore the constant becomes 3. Therefore this matrix, coefficient matrix, together with the constant matrix is the augmented matrix for this system of equation. Therefore from the given choice, D will be our answer. Which of the following is not true about argument and validity? An argument which is not valid is fallacy, definitely. An argument which is not valid is fallacy. The validity of an argument can be checked by using truth table. Yes, we can check the validity of an argument by using truth table. In valid argument, the conclusion may be true or false whenever all the premises are true. This is wrong. In a valid argument, the conclusion must be true. No more option. It must be true given all the premises are true. Therefore, this is not a correct statement. The last one, in a valid argument, if all the premises are true, then the conclusion must be true. This is also true. Therefore, the answer for this question is C. Which one of the following compound statement has a converse with truth value false? So suppose we have a compound proposition P implies Q. The converse of this statement can be expressed in this manner: Q implies P. We interchange the place of P and Q. So we will try to find a compound statement whose converse is false. So let's check for each of these compound statements. So to make it short, I will give a truth value for each segment. If 6 is a prime integer, normally 6 is not a prime integer, this is false. If this happens, then 4 is an uneven number, this is true. Unfortunately, the truth value of this statement is true, but we need the converse of this false implies true. So the converse of false implies true is the converse of this statement. True implies false. So the converse of this statement is false. This is the required answer. But let's check for the rest of the compound statement. If a man is immortal, is false. False implies then the earth does not rotate around the sun. This is also false. The truth value of this statement will be true, but we need the converse of the truth value of the converse of this statement. So the converse of false implies false is again false implies false. So false implies false is true, which is not the required answer. Let's check for C. If athlete Derek Tutulu was born on October 21, 1971, then 6 is prime. To be honest, I don't know the birthday of athlete Derek Tutulu, but it may be true, it may be false, it can't be both, but definitely it will take one of the truth value. We can consider both cases by taking true or false, but we know that 6 is not a prime, so 6 is prime, which is false. Now let's take the converse of this statement. Let's evaluate the truth value of the converse of this statement. So the converse of this statement will have this form. For f implies the truth value 3 or f. So if it takes t, false implies true is true. If it is false, false implies false is also true. Therefore, in any of the case, the converse of this statement is true. The last compound proposition is if a man is mortal, which is true, implies then the earth does not rotate around the sun. This is false. So the converse of actually the truth value of this statement is false, but we need the converse of this statement. So the converse of this statement, true implies false, its converse is false implies true, but false implies true is true. So here in this problem we are asked the compound statement whose converse is false. So this is the answer for this problem. Which one of the following is an onto function from real number onto 0 to infinity? So to know which of this given alternative is an onto function, first of all, a certain function that maps set A to set B is an onto function. This is an onto function if it satisfies the condition that the range of the function f is the same as the set B. The range of the function and this set B must be the same. So in this case, there is a certain function that maps real number to 0 to infinity. So we need to find a certain function whose range is exactly the same as 0 to infinity. So let's take the choice A. In choice A, we have f of x is equals to radical x squared. This is absolute value of x. So the range of this function is, the range of f is, the range of this function f is 0 to infinity. The range means the possible value of y. So the domain is real number, but the range is 0 to infinity. Therefore, this is the required function. This is an onto function. That means every element in the set, in this set, has a pre-image from the domain. Let's check for B. In B, f of x is equals to absolute value of x plus 2. The range of this function is, the range of this function is 2 up to positive infinity, which is not the same as 0 to infinity. Therefore, this cannot be an onto function, meaning that if you take y is equals to 1, y is equals to 1 will not have a pre-image from the domain. So let's check again for C. In C, f of x is equals to x squared plus 1. So the range of this function, the range of this function is 1 up to infinity. So which is not the same as 0 to infinity. Therefore, this cannot be an onto function. This cannot be an onto function. Let's check for D. In D, we do have f of x is equals to 2 to the power of x. This is an exponential function whose range is, the range of this function is 0 to infinity, excluding 0. Y cannot be 0 in this function. So it is an open interval, so which is not the same as this one. So again, this is not an onto function. Therefore, our answer is A. Which one of the following is the simplified form of the given rational expression? So here we are asked the simplified form of 4x to the power of 4 minus 64 over 2 minus x, for x different from 2. So here let us factor out things. 4 into x to the power of 4 minus 16, because 4x squared minus 64, they are the same, over minus, we can factor out minus from the denominator, then we will get minus into x minus 2. Again, x to the power of 4 minus 16 can be factored as x squared minus 4 times x squared plus 4 over the negative of x minus 2. So here x squared minus 4 again can be factored out. We can factor x squared minus 4 as x minus 2 times x plus 2. So let's write x squared minus 4 as x plus 2 times x minus 2. Then we do have x squared plus 4 over the negative of x minus 2. Now we have something that can be cancelled out here. So the negative in the denominator can make this negative. So negative 4 into x plus 2 into x squared plus 4. This cannot be further factored out or simplified. So this will be the required answer. Therefore, from the given alternative, our answer will be C. Which one of the following is true about the matrix, the given matrix, this one? Okay, so we are going to see which of this statement is true about the given matrix. Okay, so let's see for A. The minor of the entry 3 is 1, 8. Let's check for the statement in A. First of all, the minor of the element 3, this one, this element is in the first row and second column. Okay, so the minor of the number 3 is denoted by 1, 2. This 1 refers to row and 2 is column. So the minor of 1, 2 is obtained by eliminating the first row and second column. Eliminate the first column, row and the second column. The elements will be, the remaining elements will be 6 to 9, 0. So calculate the determinant of this one. 6 times 0 minus 2 times 9. This is 0. Therefore, the result is minus 18. Therefore, the minor of the entry 3 is positive 18, not, I mean negative 18. This is wrong. The cofactor of the entry 5 is minus 6. So this is the element. So the cofactor is usually denoted by C. This element is found in the first row and third column. So first row, third column. So the cofactor of this element is minus 1, the power of 1 plus 3, 1 plus 3, times the minor of 1, 3. We eliminate the first row and the third column so that we will get 6, 4, 9, 7. But this is positive 1, and I mean 6 times 7 is 42. 9 times 4 is 36. This is 42 minus 36. The result is 6. So the answer for the cofactor of the entry 5 is 6, but it says here minus 6. The C case, the minor of the entry 0 is 14. The entry 0 is here. This 0 is found in the third row and third column. Therefore, the minor of the entry 0 is third row, third column is calculated as avoid the third row and the third column. You will get 1, 3, the remaining are 6, 4. Calculate the determinant of this one. 1 times 4 minus 3 times 6. This is minus 14. Still, this is wrong. The cofactor of the entry 1 is minus 14. Let's check for D. The cofactor of the entry 1. Where is the entry 1? 1 is here. So the cofactor of the entry 1 is denoted by C11, which is given as minus 1 the power of 1 plus 1, which is 1 itself. And avoid the first column and the first row, you will get 4270. So this is exactly 4 times 0 minus 7 times 2. This is 0. Minus 7 times 2 is minus 14. Therefore, the cofactor of the entry 1 is minus 14. Therefore, this is the correct statement about this matrix. Consider the point A, B, C, and D in XY plane. If U is a vector formed by A and B, if U is a vector formed by A and B with initial point at A and terminal point at B, meaning that subtract B from A, I mean A from B. Always we subtract the initial from the terminal. So the vector U is 5, minus 1, and vector V is formed by C and D with initial point at C and terminal point at D. So subtract C from D, then vector V is minus 2, positive 2. So U minus V, therefore U minus V is 5, minus 1 minus 2, 2. This is 7, minus 3. Minus of minus 2 is 2. So 2 is 5 is 7. Minus 1 here, minus 2, it becomes 7, minus 3. Therefore, U minus V will be D. Question number 59. What is the image of a circle with equation x plus 2 the whole square, y minus 2 the whole square is equals to 1? This is the equation of a circle. This is the equation of a circle with center at minus 2 and minus 2, 2, and radius, the radius of this circle is 1. So you can consider this as h and this as y. So for this circle, we are asked the image of this circle after it has been rotated through this much angle, through 30 degrees about the origin. So we need to know the formula for rotation of a point about the origin. Okay, so this is the formula. First, let me write the formula, then I will show you what the image will be. So the rotation through the origin, through the angle theta about the origin is x prime is equals to x cos theta minus y sin theta, and y prime is x sin theta plus y cos theta, where this x prime and y prime are, where this x prime and y prime are the point, the image of the center after it has been rotated. Okay, so let us calculate this x prime and y prime, but here we do have x, this is y, so substitute everything here. So our theta is pi over 6, which is 30 degrees. Therefore, x prime is equals to minus 2 times cosine of 30 degrees minus 2 times sine of 30 degrees, which is minus 2 times root 3 over 2 minus 3 times, minus 2 times root 3 over 2. This is root 3 over 2 minus 2 times sine 30 is 1 over 2, which is minus radical 3 minus 1 is the value of x prime. So to calculate y prime, use this formula. So substitute x value in its place, minus 2 times sine 30 degrees plus 2 times cos 30 degree, which is minus 2 times 1 over 2 plus 2 times root 3 over 2, which is minus 1 plus radical 3. So this is these are the entries of the coordinates of the image of the circle after the rotation. Therefore, the equation of the circle after the rotation is x minus radical 3 minus 1 the whole square plus y minus 1 plus radical 3 the whole square is equals to 1. Or you can also write in this way. This can be written as x plus radical 3 plus 1 the whole square plus y plus 1 minus radical 3 the whole square is equals to 1. So we need to look for the equivalent statement for this. So from the choices, definitely we can get this is not, but definitely this can be the answer, because minus of minus is plus 1, this becomes minus. So C can be the best answer, or the image of the circle after it has been rotated through the given angle about the origin. What is the dot product of the vector u and v? Here it's very simple. We will calculate the dot product in this way. U dot v is defined as the product of the component. We first do the product of their component and sum it up. So let us write u first as a component form. U is exactly the same as 1, 2, and v is the same as minus 2, 4. So take the dot product of 1, 2 with minus 2, 4. 1 times minus 2, multiply 1 with minus 2, then it's minus 2, plus 2 with 4, it's 8, minus 2 plus 8 is 6. Therefore, the dot product of these two vectors is 6. Which of the following the following is the distribution of the marks of students obtained in mathematics test out of 15. Here we have a frequency distribution about the marks of students. So based on this information on the table, we are asked the first quartile of the distribution. So to remind you the definition of quartile, quartiles are points or values that divides the set of data into 4 equal parts. So based on this definition, for example, if we have a certain line, definitely we need 3 points that divides this segment into 4 equal parts. So we will have 3 quartiles, out of which we are asked the first quartile of the distribution. So by definition, we can get the position of the quartile, okay, the case quartile by this formula. So the case quartile is calculated as kn over 4's item, if you want to know the position, but this k takes values 1, 2, 3 because we have only 3 quartiles. So based on this, we need the first quartile when k is 1, and based on this information, the frequency, the sum of the frequency is 15 with this, with 25, with 10, with 20. The sum of the frequencies is 100. Therefore, in place of n, take 100. So the first quartile is calculated as 1 times 100 over 4's item, okay, which is the 25th item is the first quartile. So we will talk about the value of this item. Normally, in the first group, the first 15 elements are in the first group. The next 30 elements are in the second group. Therefore, the 25th item will be in the second group. So identifying the group is very important. So the formula to calculate the value of the first quartile is BL, the lower class boundary of the group, plus Kn, actually K is 1, Kn over 4 minus cumulative frequency before the quartile class over frequency of the class times the class interval. So BL in the second group, the lower class is 26, therefore the lower class boundary will be 25.5. You need to subtract 0.5 to get the lower class boundary, plus substitute K1, 1 times 100 over 4, which is 25, minus cumulative frequency. CFB means cumulative frequency before the quartile class. This is the quartile class. The sum of the frequency before the quartile class is 15. Okay, write 15 over FC is the frequency of the class. The frequency of the class is 30, and I is the class interval. 20 up to 25, it's 6, including 20. Therefore, I is 6. Now calculate all these things. 25.5 plus, this is 25 minus 15 over 30 times 6. This is 10. 10 over 30 is 1 over 3. Therefore, when we add it, it will be 27.5. Therefore, this is the first quartile of the given frequency distribution table. Next, we have the question related with logic. Let P and Q be propositions. Which one of the following compound statement is a tautology? So here, I will not construct a truth table to determine which of these compound propositions are a tautology, but I will show you some technique just to minimize the time that takes. So let's take for a case. P or Q by implies P or Q by implies P. Here, if I give a certain truth value for PF, in place of P substitute F, in place of Q put T, then P is already false. But we know that false or true is definitely true. True by implies false is false. This is always false. In by implication, the truth values should be similar. So this is not a tautology. The compound statement is said to be a tautology if it is always, if its truth value is always true. Let's check for B. P implies Q. P implies Q. By implies P. So for this case, usually if I give this for Q false, if this is true, so this will become true. So true implies false is definitely false. By implies true, this is also again false. So this cannot be a tautology. The third case, the C case, consider P and Q. If I take some truth value for P, say this is true, so it is true, say this is false. Basically, true and false is false. By implies true. You see, still this is also false. So this cannot be a tautology. But when we come to D part, these two compound propositions are equivalent. P implies Q P implies Q is equivalent to the negation of P or Q. That means two compound propositions are said to be equivalent if they have always the same truth value. So using by implication, if these two are similar, either true or false, using by implication, the result is always true. Therefore, this is a tautology because its truth value is always true. Therefore, our answer is D. Which one of the following is not true about the graph of f of x is equals to 5 plus absolute value of x plus absolute value of x over x plus 1? So first, to talk about this function, let us write 5 plus absolute value of x over x plus 1 in detail. So if we write the detailed form of this function, f of x will be written as 5 plus x over x plus 1. We take this thing for as it is for x greater than 0. We can avoid the absolute value. So this function becomes 5 whenever x is 0. It becomes 5, and the function becomes 5 minus x over x plus 1 for x less than 0. So we can explicitly define this function in this piecewise function. So let's check which of these statements is not true about this function. Y is equals to 5 plus x is its oblique asymptote. This is not true because a rational function will have an oblique asymptote if the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator. Therefore, this function by no means it will not have an oblique asymptote because the degree of the numerator and the degree of the denominator are the same. So this is wrong. So the rest should be true. For example, y is equals to 6. So y is equals to 6 is definitely a horizontal asymptote. Maybe if you want to know how this becomes a horizontal asymptote, so calculate the limit of this function. Calculate the limit of this function. The limit is 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. So for x greater than 0, the horizontal asymptote is 6. This works for x greater than 0. So similarly, y is equals to 4 is a horizontal asymptote. It's a horizontal asymptote for x less than 0. You can calculate the limit of this function as x goes to infinity. It becomes 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. Therefore, y is equals to 4 is a horizontal asymptote. So this is true, this is true. And the last one, x is equals to minus 1 is a vertical asymptote. Definitely, we obtain the vertical asymptote by calculating the expression in the denominator. Calculate the denominator for 0. X plus 1 is equals to 0 implies x is equals to minus 1. Therefore, this is a vertical asymptote of this graph. So all these statements B, C, D are true, but A is false. Therefore, A will be the answer for this problem.